Hi, this is Mike Benoit, and today I'm going to be discussing a debate. I guess it was carried on about a year ago by Stefan Molyneux and Sam Seder. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And anyway, I'm going to critique this debate. We'll find out on Stefan Molyneux's side that he's going into his usual anarchist mode of operation, and Sam Seder basically from what I find from this video, does not define the role of government. He's defending government, and Mr. Molyneux is condemning government. So here we go, and I'm going to go switch to another screen here, so have some patience because I want to cover some comments I made. And start off here, the beginning on this tape where Molyneux starts his introduction, or he basically states what his definition of government is. It's interesting to find out when he does this stuff how he conflates things, and he throws out a bunch of spaghetti on the wall and kind of is asking for it all to stick together. He starts off at 237 on this debate. He's saying that government is a group of individuals who claim to possess the moral right to initiate force in a given geographical area. And then, if you watch some of his other debates, he talks about government as an illusion, just people with guns. But so here he says it's a group of individuals who claim and possess the moral right to initiate force in a given geographical area. So that's his definition of government. And in fact, the opposite is true. What the definition of government is not the initiation of force, but it's the use of retaliatory force that we delegate. Individuals are not, individuals can initiate force, but that's not a force that we delegate to government. If it was, well, then we'd be asking for all this trouble that we're getting. When government initiates force, it's violating its mandate, and its mandate is to use retaliatory force against those who have violated us. But he makes a statement following this totally false statement that it's a bunch of people who claim, a group of individuals who claim and possess the moral right to initiate force. And it's acting like all those people are sitting there and thinking that they have the right to initiate force. And most of those people think they have no such right. They think that their role is to serve and not to initiate. So it's not a bunch of people who think what Molyneux says they think. Now he goes on and says the government is an ancient institution with which was inherited from Stone Age tribes, and which was inherited from Stone Age tribes. Then, speaking on that, he says that one of the weird things is that is old but escapes moral question. So he's saying that this is an old thing, but it's not. People do not question the morality of it. So the other institutions, which we have inherited from prehistory, he says, like slavery and subjugation of women and children, and so these have managed to be questioned and discarded. So he's saying that government is the same thing as the subjugation of women and children and slavery, and so that's his basis of what government is. So he operates with a false premise. Now next we go to Sam Seder, and he says at 5 minutes in that, this is the moderator at 5 minutes in. The moderator says, regarding Molyneux's opening, the most eloquent definition of libertarianism I have ever heard. And all I can say about that is go watch this thing. You've got to be kidding me. Then next, Sam comes in at 5:20 and basically just states we need a central authority, but does not define the role of government. So later on at 8:46 into the video, Molyneux argues how man is inclined to enslave his fellows and how it is incredibly profitable to do so. He, in other videos, argues the opposite, that man's inclination is to do the opposite, that is, not to initiate force, or that is to adhere to the non-aggression principle. So he just totally contradicts himself here. Now later on they go into a discussion about the benefits from Sam Seder of government, and then Molyneux goes into all the negativity of government. And so Sam is arguing that government can do these good things, and Molyneux is arguing about all the bad things government does. Molyneux's argument is all that government does is bad, and then Sam's argument is that government does some bad things, but it can do some good things. It has done some good things. Well, they're both missing what the purpose of government is. They should understand that the purpose of government is a retaliatory force, and that is to deal with those who have violated or threatened the life and liberty and property of others. And so, and according to Thomas Paine, government is a punisher, so it's supposed to do bad, not good. And when it does good, then it ends up doing harm to somebody else. So you don't measure and say, hey, look here, this is good things that government's doing. No, that's not the way to look at this, because government's not set up to do good, it's set up to do bad. Now the problem, and what's correct when it comes to Stefan Molyneux, is that he talks about all these bad things that governments do, and that is violate people's rights, etc., and he acts like therefore government is bad. Well, government is initiating force in those cases, and it's not been delegated that power. So instead of recognizing what the proper role of government is and then condemning it for when it steps out, he just sees that all the bad stuff equals what government is, and therefore government is bad. And Sam Seder says he comes up with some examples where government does good, and therefore, government needs to be corrected, but it still has these good functions that it does. Well, actually, government is not supposed to do good. Government is simply supposed to deal with those that violate others. So it creates an environment where we all can be successful and live free and not be subjugated to the tyranny of government. So there's actual government governing, and there's government tyranny, which is the more or less ruling versus governing. And when someone commands that you do a thing against your will, then that is ruling. If someone says, okay, you want to do this and he wants to do that, let's work it out so both of you can get it done. You go first, he goes second. And so there's governing. Anyway, that's a short one on this video. We'll pick it up later.